Hey, what's up, y'all? Y'all good? I hope so. Let's get into part 7 of the $1 million deception. So Lewis went over to Freddy's house after him and Monica got into it about the gala. Freddy and Lewis were playing Mortal Kombat, but Freddy, he wasn't really into it. So he was like, man, it's almost midnight. Ain't Monica gonna be looking for you? And that's when Lewis told him about them having it out about the business ball. Oh, really? When is it? Thursday. Where? Man, why are you asking me all of these questions? You want to go or something? Nah, I was just curious. Dang. So what, you ain't going? Oh, well, first of all, it's at the Hilton downtown, and you know I don't want to go, but I told her I would, so I guess I'm going. So Freddie asked Lewis if he ever thought about leaving Monica since he's always saying, things ain't never right between them. Lewis said that he never said never. They're just going through the usual couple things. So Freddie said, well, you don't like going to any of her business things, and you don't like to hear about it. You never know. If y'all break up, you might find somebody that you have something more in common with. And this made Lewis pause the game, and he asked him, like, what the heck you talking about? And he was just staring at Freddie, and he said, you effing with me, right? And Freddie put on a fake smile and said, yeah, man, I'm just effing with you. Lewis was like, I thought that's what it was. Now come on over here so I can keep whooping your butt in this game. Now, it was almost 1 a.m, and Lewis was just now rolling into the garage, knowing good and doggone well he shouldn't have been driving after those 6 drinks that he had over at Freddy's. His head was spinning, and he was hoping that Monica was sleeping because he really didn't want to hear her mouth. He was about to get out of the truck, but his phone started ringing, and it was from a private number. He answered it. The voice sounded familiar, but he couldn't quite figure out who it was. Who is this, and why are you calling me this late? Hey, we just arrived in Chicago on the red eye. Okay, but who is this, and why do I need to know that? I should feel a kind of way by you not knowing who I am. This is Celicia, and Salonica is here too. When Lewis heard that name, every muscle in his body tensed up. Hello, Lewis, you still there? I know this boy did not hang up on me. Yeah, I'm still here. So, what brings you to Chicago? You know I want to see my grandbaby. Okay. But you just can't be popping up expecting me to drop everything so you can see her. It doesn't work like that. You want to bet? I flew all the way from St. Louis to see my grandbaby, and you're going to give me a time and place to see her, or I'll come knocking at your door. You don't even know where I stay. You think I can't find out? Listen, I'll call you first thing in the morning to get the info, okay? Talk to you later, Lewis. Lewis wasn't the only one getting phone calls. Around 6 a.m, Freddie got a call from Nate trying to find out if he had any more information for him. So Freddie went into the bathroom so he wouldn't wake Kia, and he told Nate about Lewis not wanting to go with Monica to her gala. He gave Nate the day and where it was going to be. Then Nate was silent for a minute, and Freddie thought he hung up. Mr. Kenny, you still there? Yeah. You said that y'all like sports, right? Yeah, we do. Okay, well, the Bulls play on Thursday. Do you think he'd prefer the game, or would he want to go to the gala? Now, Mr. Kenny, who wouldn't want to go to the game? Well, when you speak to him, tell him that you have tickets. But I don't. But you will, and you gonna make sure he go with you. So at work, Monica was telling Tabitha about Lewis not wanting to go to the gala and how he stayed out all night, and when she got up, he was still asleep. So she just got her and Layla ready, and they left. As they were talking, a courier came in with a bouquet of flowers, and Tabitha said, well, at least he's trying to make amends. Monica told Tabitha to open the paper because she wanted to see just how creative he got with his apology. So when Tabitha took the paper off, it was a beautiful bouquet of peach-colored roses. Wow, peach-colored roses. Those are my favorites. But Lewis doesn't know that. Tabitha, pass me that card. When Monica opened the card, it read, please, we've never made cookies before, and we need all the help we can get. Signed, the 2 Nates. And there was a picture of Nate and Nathaniel wearing aprons with their hands, noses, and cheeks covered in flour and cookie dough. Tabitha asked Monica to tell her again why she wasn't standing in the middle of those handsome fellas. Because Nate is an evil, insensitive man. Yeah, that's right. I forgot about that. So Lewis was still asleep when his phone scared the mess out of him. And it was Celicia telling him to meet her in Salonica at a salon on 41st and Cottage Grove. When he got there, Lewis said that they looked like twin corner workers with tight shirts, miniskirts, and the straps from their high heels crisscrossing up their skinny legs. Heads looking like Christmas trees with the freeze curls and glitter. When Lewis walked in, they told him that they couldn't talk in there, but they could talk out in his car. They get in the car and Lewis got straight to it, wanted to know why were they there and what did they want, because it was always something when it came to them. We want Layla. Celicia, I told you she was at daycare. If you had told me that y'all were coming, I could have planned better. No, I don't think you understand. I'm not saying I want to see her. I'm telling you I want my grandbaby. And when she said that, Lewis told her and her daughter to get their contracts up out of his car. But Celicia said they weren't going to take no for an answer. And they were going to keep ringing his line until he gave Layla to them. He told Freddy about it, and Freddy said they probably just looking for some money. But Lewis said he wasn't giving them shit. He said it wasn't even going to go down like that. Freddy told him not to stress about it and that he needed something to take his mind off of things like some tickets to the Bulls game. Wait, you for real? Yeah. I know you want to see the Bulls spank the Lakers on Thursday. Lewis smiled, but then his smile turned into a frown. Ugh, I can't go. Monica's thing is that day. Man, it's been 2 years since I was able to get us some tickets to a Bulls game. You deserve a break. You know what, Freddy? You right. Thursday night, we up in there. Monica made it home from work. She left the flowers at work because she didn't want Lewis to be asking her no questions, but she did bring the picture of Nate and Nathaniel with her. She looked at it before going in the house. She was going to keep it in her purse, but she decided to put it in her glove compartment to keep Lewis from seeing it. She went in and Lewis was up in Layla's room watching over her. He then turned around when he heard Monica walk in and she asked him if she could speak to him. He really didn't want to, but he said that he'd be down in a minute, which was actually about 15 minutes later, and Monica was frustrated about it. She asked Lewis why did he react the way that he did when she asked him to go to the gala, and he said that he didn't have to talk about it. Like, we ain't even got to talk about that because I ain't going. And Monica was shocked. But you said you would go with me. Man, I don't know why you be asking me to go to those things with you. It's just a bunch of people standing around talking about stuff I don't even understand. I don't know nothing about it. Folks looking down on me because I'm not like them or don't want to be like them. I don't know them. I don't like them. So I don't F with them. I don't F with people like that. But Lewis, you do know that I'm one of those people. Like I said, don't ask me to go to any more of those events. Fine, but where are you going? Are you going anywhere? Will you be here for Layla? I'm not going anywhere. I just got in from work. Well, I'm going out for a drink. Don't wait up. Then he walked out the door. Monica just stood there for a minute. Then she went and got her phone, dialed a number, and when it was answered, she said, "Hello, Nate." She asked Nate to go with her to the gala and then called him back the next day because she wasn't sure if she should go through with it, and Nate picked up on that. "Are you sure you want me to go with you?" Monica said she was, and she gave him the details. Now, 2 days later, she was walking inside of the grand ballroom at the Hilton, looking around for Nate. She mixed and mingled with a couple of people, but she was still looking for him, but he wasn't there. She sat down. She was feeling like he wasn't coming, so she just finished off her drink. Then she heard someone say, "Easy. You better pace yourself before a guy tries to take advantage of you." When she looked up, she saw Nate standing in front of her wearing a black tuxedo with a fresh haircut, and his cufflinks and that Cartier watch was sparkling. "I was starting to worry that you weren't going to show." "Oh, you don't have to worry about that again." So they, dance, talk, mix and mingle with other co-workers who kept giving them these funny looks and just smiling at them. And she asked Nate, "Why are they looking at us like this?" He said, "Maybe because they think we're back together." So after about 3 hours, they were ready to go, right? So they go out there to valet, and Nate passed the guy one ticket. You only gave him one ticket. Yeah, that's because I want you to come with me, because Nathaniel really wants to see you. He made me promise that I will bring you back. So please, Monica, come with me. Since it was only 10:15, she told Nate that she would go, but only for a few minutes. They made it to Nate's house, and Mrs. Weatherly was sitting in the living room reading a book. She stood up to meet them, and Nate introduced the women to each other. Mrs. Weatherly said that Nathaniel tried his best to wait up, but he couldn't hang on any longer. So Nate told Monica that she can go up to Nathaniel's room, which was the first door on the left. Monica didn't want to go, but Nate told her that it was okay. So when Monica went upstairs, Nate walked Mrs. Weatherly out to the mother-in-law quarters in the back. Monica went into Nathaniel's room, and she just stared at him. She thought about how she went to the adoption agency and picked this little boy out. She wanted her and Nate to parent him and have a happy family, but now all she could do was admire him. She was thinking about how differently things could have been if she hadn't left Nate, and she told herself that she could never go back, but then she asked herself, or could I? She believed that Nate still loved her and would take her back if she even hinted at it. Monica started thinking about how the future could look with her, Nate, and Nathaniel. The way she could love Nathaniel and start loving Nate again. But thinking about that made her feel hurt and sad from the loss of what she once had with Nate and what she couldn't have with Nathaniel. She leaned over and rubbed Nathaniel's cheek and gave him a soft kiss on the cheek. And when she stood up, she could feel Nate's presence behind her. She felt the warmth of his breath on her neck, a soft kiss on the curve of her shoulder, and she heard the words, "I miss you so much." Monica was frozen. The touch sent a chill through her entire body. But when she turned to look, no one was there. So she went downstairs and she saw Nate removing his necktie. He asked her if she had a good visit with Nathaniel. He said the little boy was going to have a fit when he found out that he missed her visit. And he said it as if he wasn't just upstairs. Monica said the visit was nice and to tell Nathaniel that she'll see him again. "So, you ready for me to take you back to your car?" "Yes, I'm ready." But Monica was staring at Nate, hoping that he could read how she was feeling or at least clear up the questions that were running around in her head. But he just grabbed his keys and they headed back to the Hilton so Monica could get her car. About a half an hour later, Monica was ringing Tabitha's doorbell, waiting for her to answer. "Monica, what are you doing here? I thought the gala was tonight." "It was. It's over now, but I have a big problem, Tabitha." What's wrong?" "I think I'm falling in love with Nate again." Now back over there with Lewis, Celicia and Salonica, they were not letting up on ringing Lewis's line all day and all night. They called him one day like 10 times back to back. He was so frustrated with them that he told them that they could call all they wanted to, but they didn't know where he worked or where he lived, so they could go straight to him. Well, one morning on his way to work, Lewis noticed a burgundy Ford 500 that kept following him. No matter what turn he made, what lane he got in, the Ford did the same thing. So Lewis got so mad that he just stopped in the middle of the street. The Ford pulled beside him, and when the window rolled down, it was Celicia and Salonica. Salonica told him, "You said we didn't know where you lived, but we can find out. Just give me my niece, and you won't have to keep going through this." Lewis wanted to get out of his truck so bad, but they drove off. Now this morning, when he dropped Layla off, he saw the Ford again. And once he got Layla situated, he ran over to the truck, but before he could get to it, they drove off. After that situation, Lewis felt like he didn't have any other choice but to pay them like Freddy said, and he was going to tell Monica, but Freddy convinced him not to tell Monica. And what happens when you tell Monica? You know she can't have children. I know she loves you, but honestly, I think she just keeps you around because of Layla. And Lewis wasn't no fool, but he didn't think Freddy was all the way right. But he still didn't want to take a chance to find out if Monica would allow him to stay around if he lost Layla. So Lewis went to the bank to see if he would even be able to withdraw money from Monica's account. He knew his name was on it, he just didn't know how it worked. And he needed to know if he was even able to take out $10K without Monica Monica knowing or having to sign for it. So a day later, he called and told Celicia and Salonica to meet him behind Kenwood Academy High School because he was going to bring Layla to see them, except he didn't. This was Lewis's attempt at scaring the ladies off, but it didn't quite work in his favor. When he pulled up, the ladies were standing outside of the truck. When he got out, they asked where was Layla, but he didn't answer. He just walked up to Celicia, grabbed her by her shirt, and pushed her against the wall. Salonica asked her, "What the heck you doing to my mama?" She tried to get at him, but he hemmed her up too, because both of them together didn't weigh but about $150. Now, y'all better listen. And listen good. If you don't leave me and my child alone, and before he could finish, one of them caught him between the legs and then sent him down to his knees. Then Salonica ran over and kicked him over. Now, you listen to me, motherfucker. I said I want my grandbaby, and I mean that. And if you don't give her to me, me and my daughter will make your life a living hell. Do you hear me? She is all we got since you took Selena from us. I didn't take Selena away. She OD'd and you know that. F that. She was with you. It was your responsibility to take care of her, but you didn't. And now she ain't here no more. So we want Layla. Listen, man. Is there anything else we can work out? Because I'm not giving you my baby. Lewis slowly started to stand up because he wanted to keep his guard up. What other way you talking? Listen, I have money. I can give you $10,000. Celicia and Salonica looked at each other. Then Celicia said, "Make it $30K and you got yourself a deal." Then they left Lewis standing there, still holding himself, mad as ink. This whole situation had Lewis stressed and depressed. He didn't know what to do. He knew he didn't have the money and wasn't going to ask Monica for it. So he felt stuck, but he knew he was going to have to do something because he was popping off on Monica, being snappy with Layla. Even last night when Monica told him that they didn't have to talk about anything or resolve anything, all she needed was him. She was craving him, and he tried to give her what she wanted, but he just couldn't get it up because he was so stressed. And Monica looked at him like he was pathetic. She pushed him off of her and she just rolled over and went to sleep. And Lewis knew that wasn't good because they hadn't really talked or been intimate in a couple of weeks. And after that moment, he knew he had to figure out a way to end that situation with Celicia and Salonica. It was still playing in his mind when he got to work. He just didn't know how he would be able to take the $30K and get it back in Monica's account before she noticed. But that was until Freddy came in to work with this big smile on his face, and he told Lewis to follow him to the break room. "Hey, you gonna pay them fools, right? And send them back to St. Louis?" "I want to. And I need to, but you know that I ain't asking Monica, and I can't take it because I can't replace it." "Yes, you can." Freddy looked at Lewis for a minute, tried to sound as excited as he could. Then he said, "The house sold." Wait. When? Wait, who bought it? Man, does any of that matter? The house sold. It sold earlier this morning for $125,000. Lewis was so happy until he started calculating in his head how they would have to divide the money. "But my part only comes to half of what they asking. I still won't have enough." "Yes, you will, because I'm giving you my part so that you can get this thing over with and send them folks on their way. You know I got your back." "I can't do that, Freddy." "Lewis, take the money. Like I said, you know I got your back. No matter what goes down, I got you. Now go to the bank and take care of your business." Now it was lunchtime, and Lewis was sitting at the table with Celicia and Salonica. There was also a bald man with them. He was wearing sunglasses, and he looked very official. Lewis slid the envelope to them, and they started smiling. "Thank you for our gift. And I know I don't have to count it because I think you learned your lesson. Right, Lewis?" "Yeah. Well, I guess this will be the last time that Salonica and I will see you." It was so much fun. She put the envelope in her purse. They walked out of the restaurant, and the bald dude left behind them. Lewis was so happy that all of that mess was over. Everything felt so much lighter. He felt like life had just gotten better for him and Monica. Now, Monica, she was feeling real good to be able to get what she needed and have her itch scratched. Finally, that was everything for her. She rolled over on her back, smiling at the ceiling. Her body was still tingling after the 3 thunderstorms she just had. They were so good. It's been so long, and I almost forgot how good you were, Nate. Nate leaned over and kissed her softly on the lips and told her that he was starting to believe that he would never have her again. This doesn't even supposed to be happening. It's wrong for me to be here, but I just couldn't stop thinking about you. Well, I'm glad you did. It's everything I've been wanting since the day you came over to see Nathaniel. I miss you, Monica. I miss you so much. Don't do that, Nate. I know it's been a year or a little over a year, but I still ask myself, how could you just give me over to another man and let him have me in such an intimate way when we were still married? Nate told her that it was never supposed to happen like that because Lewis was supposed to tell him when he planned on sleeping with her, but he didn't. And if he would have followed instructions, he could have stopped him because by the time it happened, Nate said that he had changed his mind about the whole plan. Then he asked Monica if she could forgive him. She moved closer to Nate and told him that it wasn't all of his fault because she didn't have to sleep with Lewis. And she asked Nate if he could forgive her. Nate said that he already had. Then he asked Monica what was next. So Monica asked if she could see Nathaniel before she left, even though he was asleep. They both showered and then went to Nathaniel's room. Monica held him and said that she just wanted to take him home and never let him go. Nate said that if she came back, she wouldn't even have to worry about letting him go. Nate just didn't understand why she wouldn't just come back. I can't. Lewis and I don't want to hear nothing about Lewis. You don't even have a future with him and you know it. So just leave him. We've become closer again as friends. We're standing here as a family. Just leave him. I can't, Nate. I can't just throw him away because you and I are getting closer again. I can't forget that Lewis was there for me. She passed Nathaniel back to Nate and told him that she had to go because it was getting late. Once Monica made it home, she saw the older woman sitting across the street from her house again. Now, she usually see her in the daytime, but it's like 9 something, and the lady is sitting out in front of her house. So this time, Monica said she was going to say something to the lady. So when she started walking towards her car, the lady drove off. So the next evening, Tim stopped over to check on Nate and Nathaniel. Nate had been telling Tim that everything was going exactly how he planned, and Tim couldn't believe that he was still going through with it. You think I like doing this, Tim? You think I like deceiving her again? Having her thinking that there is really something between us or that we have a future? When I know I'm just going to toss her to the curb once I take everything away from her? Yeah, I think you're enjoying it. You haven't stopped. Well, I don't think I like this anymore, and I don't like having to check my feelings. Just then the phone rang and it said international call. Nate rolled his eyes, but he answered it anyway. He was very short with Daphne, and right when he was about to hang up, she asked him if he had a second to consider one last thing, and it was about them getting married when she came back. Nate said that he would think about it, then he hung up. Why are you looking like that, Nate? You did tell her that you could see yourself marrying her, but I'm starting to get the impression that has changed. So Tim got up and moved closer to Nate and said, wait a minute. Before that call, you said that you didn't like keeping your feelings in check. And I was thinking you were talking about Daphne, but you was really talking about Monica. Am I reading this correctly? Damn it, man. I don't know what's happening to me. All I want is my money back. And I want to hurt her in the process. But we're starting to get closer, and I think I'm starting to have feelings for her again. What? See? That's what I'm talking about. Tim gave Nate a hug, and he said, so what you gonna do about it? Well, she won't leave Lewis. As long as the little girl in the picture, he's still there. She said he was the one that was there for her. So I have to give her a reason to leave him. And that means that you'll have to continue to blackmail the young man who has absolutely nothing to do with any of this. That man does not deserve to have his family and his house hanging over his head. You really need to pull back from that. Listen, I know it's wrong, and Tori most definitely showed me how wrong it can get. But once I get my wife back, I'm done. And if the boy I'm blackmailing continues to act right, I'll throw him a little something extra in the deal. Now, Freddy was over there sitting in the dark in his feelings about what he had just done to Lewis. And he wasn't in the dark because of his mood, but because the power had been turned off for late payments. So Kia said that she gave them the money before closing, and they said that the power should be back on the next day. Freddy said that he was so tired of living like that. Kia tried to comfort him, and then he asked Kia if she knew why they had been poor since he was 8 years old. Why, Freddy? I've never told you this because I didn't know how. I just didn't know how you would feel about me. But the reason we've been struggling since I was 8 is because my father, he didn't pass away in a car accident. I unalived him. What? He was being my mama almost every day. So I came home one day at lunch, took my baseball bat, and unalived him in his sleep. Kia jumped off the bed and just stared at Freddy in disbelief. You unalive your father? Freddy continued without answering her and told her that they've never been able to catch up and that now somebody has bought the taxes from under them. Freddy, you gotta pay those. You only have a certain amount of time before somebody comes and buys them. Somebody already did. And that same person has me doing things against Lewis. They're blackmailing me. And if I don't do it, they say they're going to take this house and tear it down. So I've been doing it because he said that he'll give me the title to the house free and clear. Who is this person? You can't do this to Lewis, Freddy. He's your best friend. The taxes situation, that don't matter. It does matter, Kia. You wouldn't understand. I've been poor all my life. And even though my mama don't say anything, I know she blames me for us being poor. I took her husband away from her. And if I can't save this house, there will be another thing that I caused her to lose. Freddy, you may not want to admit it, but you know you're wrong for doing this to Lewis. If you tell your mother, she wouldn't even want you to do this. You're a better man than this. You are not the type of person to let somebody push you around. Plus, my father is one of the top lawyers in this city. And you know there's a better way to handle this than to deceive your best friend. And you know I'm right. So tomorrow, you tell that man that he can kiss your tail. And if he doesn't lay off, he'll have an entire law firm standing on his front lawn. Can you do that for me, Freddy? Yes, I can do it. The next afternoon, Freddy did exactly what Kia told him to do. He called. He told Nate that he wasn't helping him anymore because it was wrong. Nate had to remind Freddy that he held the deed to his house. And Freddy said he didn't care about that anymore. He didn't care. You got me doing this mess to my friend, and it's really messing with my head, man. It ain't right. And if you try to kick us out of our house, I know some lawyers who will help me. Nate realized that Freddy was serious, so he asked Freddy to do him one more favor, and that was allow him to take him somewhere and make one more simple offer. And I don't have to do nothing, and I can say no if I want to. Correct. Okay, I'll go. The next thing Freddy knew, he was sitting in front of a new townhome. Nate told him to get out so that they can go inside. Once they get inside, Nate gave Freddy a tour of the home, and Freddy was in love, not knowing that this was the same townhome that Nate had Lewis living in. Freddy wanted to know why were they there. Nate said that the money Lewis gave to Celicia and Salonica was stolen out of Monica's account, and that Nate bought the rehab so that he can give the money to Freddy to give to Lewis, so that Lewis could replace the stolen funds. But now he wants Lewis to steal from her again. Nate wants Freddy to tell Lewis that someone bought the taxes from under his from under them, and unless they pay them in 2 days, his family will be thrown out on the street. But how will I get the money back to Lewis? You will tell him that your mother is cashing in her insurance policy and that she should receive the money in a day or 2. But my mama don't have an insurance policy. That's not a problem. Oh, because I'm getting the money from you. No. Well, how will I get the money? You won't, Freddy. This time, Lewis will get caught for stealing. Freddy, I don't know if you really get it. I want my wife back, but she would need a reason to leave her fiancé, and this will be the reason. And I doubt if anything will really happen to him because Monica knows he can't pay her back, so at the most, she put him out. Freddy didn't want any parts of that plan, but Nate kept telling him that he could gain a lot, like the house they were standing in. Do this for me, Freddy, and this house is yours. No strings attached. But if you give Lewis the slightest hint that something is going on, the deal is off. Nate told Freddy to think about it and call him in the morning. Freddy couldn't sleep at all that night. He looked over at Kia sleeping peacefully and decided that he would tell Nate no. And he was satisfied by his decision. That was until he was awakened by somebody letting off several rounds that almost gave him a heart attack. He didn't know if it was outside or inside the house. But after sitting there for a while, he realized that it was outside. But hearing those sounds made Freddy change his mind again. So when he got to work, he told Lewis that he needed $50K. Look, Lewis, I won't be asking you if they weren't taking the house tomorrow. He told Lewis about his mom's insurance check and everything. Lewis wanted to tell Monica what he needed the money for because he was sure she wouldn't mind helping. And Freddy said, but what if she doesn't want to help? Then the house is just gone. Come on, Lewis, I'll do it for you. Heck, I gave you half from the flip so that you could send Celicia and Salonica on their way. I know. And you'll have the money back tomorrow. Yes, I promise. Dang it, man. Okay, I'll get the money for you by this evening. And that's it, y'all. That's it for part 7. Get down in the comments. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you think about Monica going back over there to Nate's bed. What do you think about Freddy knowing that it's like he know he shouldn't do it, but he just keep doing it because in his mind, if he can do something good to get them out of poverty or to save his mom's house or get her a new house, that he just feel like whatever feelings that he think his mom has towards him about his dad, that they'll go away. But everybody is telling him that he don't need to do it. Get down in the comments. Let's talk about it. Thank you for liking, sharing, and subscribing. And I'll talk to y'all later.